Hello, hello, hello. Commissioner Grum of the Dork Side Pokemon League here to give you a recap of Season 1 and to reveal the Season 1 award winners while we prepare for the start of Season 2. Season 2 starts at the end of the month, and as this video has gone up, the second season's draft has begun. So subscribe and like for more Dspl videos, as they'll be coming out every Friday during the week, and then League streams on Sunday nights. While you're at it, leave a like on the video and let me know who you think is the must-have Pokemon in all Paldea Dex drafts. We started the first ever season of the Dork Side Pokemon League with 12 teams. A blend of experienced and rookie general managers led to an interesting pool of teams. Coming out of the draft, it was clear that which general managers fell into which pool. Perhaps the most interesting teams were the two gimmick teams of the Aussie Illusion, controlled by Aussie Marcus, who employed a full Trick Room team with Pokemon like Hatterene, Cresselia, and Diancie to set up the room for Pokemon like King Gambit, Iron Hands, and Glastrier, and Terra Captain Caporaja to thrive. The other gimmick team being Didax, Pig's Eyes, Pignite, and their Mono Ghost strategy led by Annihilate, featuring threats like Hisuian, Typhlosion, Mimikyu, and Gengar. While experienced Pokemon players like AW of the Arizona Diamondbacks and his team powered by Sneasler, Tinglu, Kilowattrel, and Iron Bundle, Duff Guy Pat of the Cambridge Clodsires and their core of Dragapult, Great Tusk, and Clodsire, and General Manager Johnner of the Long Island Ducklets with the core of Iron Valiant, Iron Treads, and Hisuian Samurott all came out of the gates just as we expected. Only 2 losses between the 3 of them in the first 4 weeks of the season. The rookie general managers like Orin of the British Bangers with his Quadsire Garganacl and Meowscarada core, CJ of the Corpus Christi Crowbats and his top-heavy team of Garchomp, Charizard, and Rillaboom, and Brazilian Fury of the Colorado Dugtrios with Tornadus, Therian, Sizzler, and Zapdos were all struggling, each only having 1 victory to their name in the first 4 weeks. However, the early season surprise was the extremely rookie general manager Basque and his Minnesota Doduos, who sat in second place 4 weeks into the season with dominating victories thanks to his hyper-offensive core of Lycanroc Dusk, Jolteon, and Noivern. The other surprise being the mixed weather team, the San Antonio Sphere and their general manager Berger, who's sitting at 3-1 behind only the Sun Power portion of their team, with Walking Wake, Roaring Moon, and Volcarona leading the way. By mid-season, the league began to shift as Arizona and Cambridge began to pull away from the league as the 2 best teams, separating themselves from Long Island and San Antonio, who each would hit a slide, losing multiple games in between weeks 5 and 8. This allowed teams like Aussie and British to turn their seasons around behind leaning into the strengths of their teams, as Aussie Marcus's Trick Room team terrorized and Orin went fully into stalling out his opponents. Meanwhile, Minnesota would fall, as would some others, but the biggest shakeups in the middle of the season came when Squidge and Durs stepped down as general managers of their team, which opened up space for Hob and Cornman. Hob took over the last place Boston Bronzors for Durs, immediately changing things up by picking up Excalibur, Titan, and Enamorous T in an effort to salvage the season. Cornman, on the other hand, dropped almost the entire roster of the Birmingham Booflins, making arguably the biggest pickup of the season in Klefki, as it played a vital role in Birmingham's second half surge, as Cornman would win his first 4 games to get Birmingham back to 500 heading into the final weeks of the season. By the final weeks of the season, the playoffs weren't clear, turning the final 3 weeks into a mad race for 6 spots between 11 teams, as Boston was the only team out of it despite Hobbs' best efforts to go 500 in his time as general manager. In week 8, Cambridge and Arizona punched their tickets to the playoff as Colorado's hopes were dashed and Corpus Christi fell short of making a Hail Mary run. Week 9 saw 3 more teams punch their ticket as British, Aussie, and San Antonio secured the playoff berth with victories. Sucker Punch gets the knockout.
Get him!
They say no cheering in the press box, folks, but I don't subscribe to that. As Long Island's playoff hopes stayed alive thanks to a 1-0 victory over Pig's Eye, who joined Minnesota as eliminated from playoff contention in the penultimate week of the season. Going into the final week of the season, 5 teams secured their ticket to the playoffs, but no one secured their seeding, and only 2 teams controlled their destiny, Cambridge and Long Island, who funnily enough ended up facing each other in the final game of the year. Cornman had led Birmingham from the bottom of the standings to the cusp of the playoffs, but needed a win against Arizona, who was playing for a first-round bye in the playoffs, and needed Cambridge to lose to lock up first place. Arizona wanting to get the win, but there's the critical hit. Do we need to look into this match? There's the critical hit. Now the spikes are up. There's 2 layers of spikes. Toedscruel will come in with the heavy duty boots and the reflect, but not but the steel type Terra to resist the ice typing Glalie. cannot not do anything with the freeze dry. Energy Ball will knock out. Birmingham did their job, defeating Arizona 2-0 and waiting to see if Cambridge could knock Long Island out of the picture for them. Now, Johnner had said in week 4...
I hope they go undefeated until the very last week, because I want to take that title away from both undefeated players.
That's ballsy. I like that. And while Cambridge had taken one loss during the season, but he goes for Landorus here, who gets the guard dog intimidate. So we get to see that. I was happy about that. A big play rough here. Not enough to get the kill, but the attack does lower. Does not matter, as the Earth will close this one out for Johnner. And the Long Island Ducklets win it. The Long Island Ducklets are your 5th seed in the playoffs. Long Island was able to secure a playoff spot and make good on their general manager's words as they beat Cambridge 2-0. The playoffs were secured. Cambridge and Arizona would be 1-2 with their byes, and British would draw San Antonio, while Aussie would draw Long Island, both matches being rematches from earlier in the season. In the quarterfinals, British would repeat their regular season success against San Antonio, defeating the now fully committed Sun team, and Long Island would avenge their loss to Aussie in dominant fashion. This led to another pair of rematches as Arizona would take on the British Bangers, who were on a 7-game winning streak, and Cambridge would look to avenge the loss to Long Island. After a back and forth in each match, it was the top 2 teams from the start, Arizona and Cambridge, meeting in the finals, where AW would put to rest the talk of the best general manager in the league as he dominated Duff Guy Pat with a 6-0 win in the finals, becoming the first ever Dspl League champion. As the confetti figuratively fell on Arizona, the votes were being gathered for the award winners of Season 1. Nominated by the league general managers and officials, voted on by the fans of the DSPL, I present to you your award winners for Season 1 and the Season 1 All-League team. A signature feature of the DSPL is our ability to do bits live. Of the many bits that we had in Season 1, as voted by you, the fans, the winner of Best Bit, former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura, or as we know it, Didak's impression of the former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura.
If we're going to be honest here, I expected, with both the Clodsire and the Quagsire going so deep into the game, I thought we were going to see a standoff between the two faces of evil. And of course I'm talking about the two Pokemon, not Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan.
Part of the fun in competitive Pokemon is nicknaming your Pokemon, and the fans named Baxcalibur's backshot nicknames from Hob the best nickname of Season 1. Team prep is a big part of draft leagues, and having a Pokemon that must be accounted for by your opponent and game plan for is scary. That's why the most feared Pokemon as voted by the fans, Clodsire of the Cambridge Clodsires. As commissioner of the league, my favorite part was watching general managers learn and grow as battlers, but also watching teams get better via transactions. So in a hotly contested category, the winner of Season 1's biggest glow-up, General Manager Oren of the British Bangers. Part of being a good general manager is admitting that you need to make a move to improve your team, as many general managers made massive calls, but the winner of Best Transaction goes to Birmingham, picking up Klefki. The fun and challenge of Draft League is having a roster that only you can use in the season, and sometimes you don't always bring the same 6 Pokemon, even if they're really good. Sometimes you just bring someone off the bench for a good matchup, and sometimes you just don't know what you have until late in the season. That's why we have the 7th Mon Award, and the winner of the 7th Mon of Season 1 is Aussie's Glastrier. The season is a long one, and it is hard to stand out week to week, but sometimes there's a performance that is just too good to forget. The winner of Best Performance of Season 1, King Gambit's Week 1 performance, saving the Aussie illusion from sure defeat. There were 65 games in the first season of the league. Some were impressive showings that were one-sided, and some just went on forever. Looking at you, Bangers. But there were some that were just incredible from start to finish, and the fans decided that the best game of the year was the Pig Knight versus the Ducklets from Week 9. Sometimes you just know when a play is going to stick with the audience, and in Week 5, when Hobbs sent out Corviknight on Duff Guy Pat's Mousehold, I knew magic was going to happen. And it did. Uh-oh. Now if Stuart goes for a Thunder Wave, this is fine. Oh no. Oh no.
The Rocky helmet.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, the
no.
Rocky helmet, baby.
Oh no! Oh no! As the fans voted the Rocky Helmet Corviknight taking out Mousehold on its own population bomb in Week 5 as the play of the year. This league wouldn't be without the general managers, which is why they have a whole award dedicated to themselves, those selfish bastards. The general manager that the fans decided was the best general manager this year was Cornman for his incredible turnaround in season of the Birmingham Buffalints. In most sports, all league is an award that can be pointed at and used as an example of who defined the season. This distinction was decided upon by the general managers and league officials. And your season 1 all-league team: Clodsire, Annihilate, Glastrier, Tinglu, Iron Treads, and Garganical. And finally, the big one, the most valuable Pokemon, awarded to the Pokemon that had played the biggest part in their team's success. And yes, while it is a team effort and most teams are more than one member, there is no doubt that some Pokemon play a more important role for them, and the fans decided that the most valuable Pokemon of Season 1 is the Cambridge Clodsire's Clodsire. Congratulations to the award winners in Season 1, and once more to the Arizona Diamondbacks for becoming the first ever Dspl champions. They will look to defend their crown as AW is returning for Season 2 with the Diamondbacks. Other general managers that are returning with the same teams include Season 1 regular season champion Duff Guy Pat and the Cambridge Clodsires, Aussie Marcus and the Aussie Illusion. The British Bangers will return with general manager Oren at the helm, as will the Pig's Eye Pignite with general manager Didac. And finally, Brazilian Fury will lead the Colorado Doug Trio into battle in Season 2. Long Island saw the quote-unquote departure of general manager Johnner following their semifinal loss to Cambridge, the immediate hire of quote-unquote new general manager Harold Pestard for Season 2, making Long Island the only team to return for Season 2 with a new general manager, while Minnesota gets a rebrand as general manager Bass will lead the Minnesota Lycanrocs into Season 2. Rounding out the original 12 teams, San Antonio and Corpus Christi will see new general managers who've decided to relocate the teams, as San Antonio will now be known as the Dallas Dusclops, led by newcomer general manager Roby, who keeps a Texas team in the league, while Corpus Christi heads out east to become the New York Cosmic under the leadership of new general manager K. Marvel. Season 2 will see expansion in the league as 16 teams will take the field in Season 2. General Manager Kuhn will go from the assistant to Oren in the British Bangers to becoming his own general manager with the Indianapolis Ignition. General Manager ProScream will make a similar jump as he goes from assistant to Didact in Pig's Eye to the leader of the Edina Sting. Joining them as expansion teams are General Manager Diabito, who will man the Sacramento Coffee. Exactly, it's said exactly like that. And General Manager Osh, who controls the Twin City Thick Boys. Season 2 will see Pokemon available in the Paldea Dex Draft format just like this past season, which now includes the 2 DLCs, the Teal Mask and the Indigo Disc, with over 200 new Pokemon to the draft pool for the season. Eligible Pokemon like the Loyal Trio, the Ogerpon forms, Gouging Fire, Iron Boulder, Raging Bolt, and more will be in the pool. As such, the team's cap will increase to 130 points. Each team will draft between 10 and 13 Pokemon for the season. And the season will start January 28th for a little bit of a commissioner birthday celebration. Join the Discord to get notified when the streams go live for each and every Sunday, where games will be played live with commentary and general manager coach interviews. And subscribe for more Draft League content on the channel, as every Friday I will be uploading DSPL content. I am Grum, and this has been the DSPL Weekly. We'll see you next time.
Grum TV thanks you for watching this presentation of the Dork Side Pokemon League.